Hi, tea sippers. I'm back. Whoa, bitch. Let's get into the tea. There's a lot to get into. Make sure you grab your seats, your tea, your champagne, your coffee, whatever have you, girl. Time to spill. Girl, before we spill this reality today, let me give you a little bit of this. So, breaking news. Miss Bronwyn has a new man. People magazine is reporting that Bronwyn Newport has been seeing model Brandon Good for a few weeks. Child, a few weeks? They stepped out for a date night on Monday, February 2nd, as reported, to support Whitney Levitt as she made her Broadway debut as Roxy Hart in Chicago, child. Now, Bronwyn Newport has a new man in her life. And sources are confirming this to people that, you know, she's obviously this fashion archive who's 40, just turned 40 with this TV personality. We love Bronwyn, right? But the model she's dating is a little younger, but why not? His name is Brandon Good and he's 32. So, from what People Magazine is saying, is that they've been seeing each other for some time now, like not even a month. And it's new, and they're enjoying each other's company, and Bronwyn's very happy about it. Uh-oh, Todd. You fumbled that one, baby. Let's get into reality. So y'all must be ready for a reality check, baby. It's time to dive right in, and I want to start right off the bat and get into what's going on with Miss Karen Huger. She just had this interview with Andy as the season finale of the Real Housewives of Potomac, as they like to put it. And I don't know if Karen was taking any damn accountability. Child, let's get into this. Take a listen.
I didn't even watch that film. I didn't allow Ray to watch that film. So I didn't have input from my husband. So I couldn't relate to what my lawyers were telling me, which they were giving me great advice. Like, Karen, take a plea deal. Let's get you a plea deal. Because the video is going to nail you. But I hadn't seen it.
They said the video is going to nail you.
Yes, they did.
Take a plea deal.
Yes, they did.
And you said...
Because I hadn't seen it, I was still in denial and still under the influence.
Under the influence of what?
Prescriptive drugs and drink.
Okay.
Alcohol. Yeah.
So you were cloudy.
I was cloudy.
And you were in denial.
And I was in denial.
And did they say this also to Ray?
I actually isolated Ray from all of
that. You did?
I wanted to face this on my own.
There were rumors that you were offered a plea deal for a few months of house arrest. And that you turned it down. Is that true?
Not true.
No?
No.
Karen,
I know.
Wow. So they said this video is very damaging.
Yes, they did.
And they said...
Because I had not seen it and I was not dealing in reality.
You would not watch it.
I couldn't watch it.
You couldn't watch it.
I was afraid of it. And then when I was in rehab was when my therapist sat with me to watch it.
She said, you have to watch this.
I have to face it.
Ciao. Let's get into this Karen Huger tea. I think this is where I'm going to start. And I'm going to try to cuss less. Because I think in my first episode, I was just like a sailor, baby. But I want to say this about Karen. I commend her for sitting down with Andy. For coming out of jail and admitting that she was in denial. And admitting that she just had it all wrong, child. What I'm not going to do is play these delusional games with Miss Huger. Why are we sitting here with Andy and then talking about this prescription drug? And here's the thing. I think all forms of care, you know, like if you're struggling with something, by the way, get your help, do what you got to do, boom, 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 wow. But I will say that, like, Karen deflected a lot from the alcohol of it all, which is the elephant in the room. She talked a lot about her current relationship with the ladies and who reached out. Karen also went on to talk more about her relationship with Ray. And she made it very clear, y'all, that she is not going to shy away from spilling her tea. Her and Ray are rocky right now. And, you know, that would make sense. You just went to jail for something that Ray called you out about 20 years ago. And I think part of being an adult is taking accountability, one. But I think part of being the grand dame or the former grand dame, there's this confusion between reality at times and accountability. And I think Karen is doing herself a disservice by, you know, playing into the humor of it all, which is why we watch. We love watching and the grand dame do her damn thing and go off and play these games and act all, you know, quirky. But girl, when it comes down to this, like, I think the accountability just needs to be right there. I think if you admitted you being in denial, let's keep it pushing. I honestly would like to see Karen's sober journey. You know, I want to see what's going on with Miss Huger. And I think it's very, 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 very good that this is the direction that the network is taking with her. Because if you look at the overall Bravoverse, there's been several ladies up in here that have had substance use issues and talked about having bags and bags of pills, baby, combining with a little champagne. Girl, let's really get into it. They do that, and people combine prescription drugs with alcohol all the time. So I'm not going to knock Miss Huger. It has to be absolutely awful for you to lose your parents back to back 3 months apart and then have to pull your life together. And I think she is going to go on a journey with a new form of self-discovery. I think her being humbled in jail was good for her. But I think it's also going to be good for those ladies. Because now that I was calling the Grand Down, I think she just wants to go by Karen now. Now that Karen's coming back to Potomac, it's time for the ladies to buckle up. The dynamic shifts are going to be crazy. And I hope that means Miss Ashley, that was getting away with everything, will be very much so put back in her little messy place. Because Karen came back to this Potomac trailer, y'all, getting the girls together at the end. Take a listen.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Andy. You ladies been behaving? Did you lie again this season?
Toodle-doo. The way Wendy's acting now, like, it's like nothing. Totally. I would be here as a nun.
You're talking too much, Wendy. I went through. I know. Follow me here, Professor. Shut the up.
The Potomac Reunion starts February 15th on Bravo and Peacock.
Baby, I felt that in my soul. I felt that in my soul with the shut the fuck up, Professor. Or shut up. Oop, I said I wasn't going to be cussing on the pod. I'm sorry, y'all. But here's the thing. I think that is very tea for Karen to come in there like she's just picking up the pieces where she left off. And I want to see what happens, because I do think what's about to happen is that all these ladies are coming back with Karen next year, and we're going to get a good little camaraderie, hopefully some dynamic shifts, and hopefully some closure of what's happening with Wendy. I think we might find out more tea at this reunion, but as you can see, Karen told her to silence herself. So that might mean that Wendy might need to take a year off, because I don't know what it's like to navigate anything criminal like this, but I can imagine that it's one of those situations where somebody has to pack it up. And I don't know if that's going to be somebody on the cast. I don't know if that means somebody in your life, or if a lawyer has to go, because Karen didn't get a lot of good counsel, as she likes to say initially, but it seems like she did get a lot of good counsel. It seems like they told her to take the plea deal. So we'll see. Potomac is giving. They are the talk of the town. Hopefully Atlanta will be able to keep up when they come back, baby. Child, speaking of Atlanta, let's get into the gig. So what is going on here? I did not have Drew Sidora being this messy on my bingo card, baby. Take a listen right now.
Okay, I am so confused because I did not get the memo. My kids wanted chicken and waffles, so I came to support my girl. I get here, and it is a lockbox on the door. No one is here. No one's answering the phones. There is no one inside. Did anybody know about this? Because I didn't. I'm just trying to get my kids some chicken and waffles. And we were just at the grand opening a few months ago, so I'm confused. Okay.
Drew, damn. Wait, first of all, let me tell y'all how messy Drew is. Because there could not have been Nan car in that parking lot. So she pulled up and she was doing a drive-by, as she likes to say. I didn't see no kids with her. And she walks up to this door and there's a padlock on it. Drew, are we reading Kelly Farrell for filth? So apparently the girls heard between Drew, Shamia, and Kelly, the girls are not getting along in Atlanta. And the streets are talking that there's even more drama under the scene. But we will find that out later as the show comes back on the air. But let me give y'all what Kelly responded. So, Kelly says, "Drowning Drew, thank you for the drive-by. While that location is being relocated, our McDonald's restaurant is open. Yes, the same one where we filmed, and I personally made sure you and your entire family left fed for free. I get it. You're scrambling for a storyline. We know you gave nothing all season. Unfortunately, I'm not available. I actually have real things going on. So, continue with that low-budget movies that you've been doing, unpaid promo tours, imaginary business ventures. If you ever plan on reopening a business, an actual business, let me know. I'll consider supporting your real life. Until then, keep my name out of that dry mouth of yours, and maybe you can get a man that actually claims you. P.S. This is the weird shit that Drew does. And, yeah, call me next time, boo. Can these girls stop playing these internet games? This is a good promo for Atlanta, though, because the girls are fighting. I live. But I will say, before we pack this all up, what is going, first of all, let's talk about Drew. Drew has been on the show since, season 14? 13, whatever? And she's just been around, baby. Drew's basically like one of the OGs at this point. She's the Angie to Atlanta, honey. She's holding the pieces together. She came in, but she's still considered like one of the newer old girlies. And I think Drew is finally getting into her stage of just being, okay, she's permanent Atlanta. Because you can't tell me that you being that messy. But if it's warranted, I hear Kelly just got out of jail. So I don't know what's going on here. I'm confused. The girls are scrapping and scrabbling at this point. I don't know if it's about storylines. I don't know who's going to be carrying. I still want them to release the Atlanta trailer. Where is the trailer? I want to see the new girl's life. I want to hear more about Pinky Co. and this restaurant business that what is it, Slutty Vegan? I want to hear all about her business ventures. I want to hear all the tea. I want to get into K. Michelle because y'all know I love me some K. Michelle. I love her music. Can't raise a man. Very that. So I can't wait for her to come back and do her thing and get the girls together because I already know she's going to have Drew by the neck, baby. Because if Drew's being this messy, I think there's going to be some personality clashes. Not to mention, Portia is just doing her thing. But I'm not hearing anything from Phaedra or Angela Oakley. Are the girls getting along? We shall see. And I'll be giving you the tea. Right when that trailer drops, I will be definitely ready with my tea bag in it, baby. Child. All these cancellations, what is going on here? I feel like if we're going to start canceling stuff, at least give us a heads up. Let us know they're not returning. But, when the money is involved and people and all the little right people who are making those decisions are involved, they like to be petty and go where the coin is. So anyway, let's get into this. They have already canceled Basketball Wives, in addition to the Sherri Shepherd show and the Kelly Clarkson show. So I'm expecting for us to see a lot more cancellations right now. If you can see the wave right now, podcasting and YouTube and streaming services are becoming a little bit more popular than daytime television. But most importantly, when it comes to shows like Basketball Wives, we can't let that show go unnoticed without talking about the amazing impact it made on the world outside of the Real Housewives. Before we had shows take off like the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and before we had shows like Potomac, we had shows like Basketball Wives and Love and Hip Hop and a bunch of other shows on VH1 and within that MTV realm. And they put people's careers on the map, not to mention Jackie Christie and Shawnee O'Neal, who held that show down with Evelyn Luzada and Tammy Roman. Let's give the shout out where it needs to be. These ladies served. Now, because they have their own careers, on top of their experience in Basketball Wives, it'll be interesting to see what network or what streaming platform brings these ladies back, because I do believe they have reality talent. And I believe Jackie Christie, if any of them, y'all just hear me out. If Bravo was like, hey, Jackie Christie, can you come over here and play with the girls in Beverly Hills? And it's just a one-season wonder and she's too chaotic and the girls can't, I would live. Go ahead and pack her up and bring her over to the Bravoverse so I can have a key. And so we can have a key. But anyway, it's so cool to see the fact that these shows made an impact. But it's sad to see them go. Like, Sherri did her thing and Kelly did her thing. But, like I said, I will keep y'all updated on more cancellations. But it's giving, there's more to come. Man, that tea is piping hot in Atlanta. And so is this tea. Let's see what Kempire has to say about Married to Medicine, because we haven't spent much time dipping our feet into that pond yet, baby.
Well, this will come as no shocker. Married to Medicine star Quad Webb and King have broken up. He's now confirming, almost a little bit in a messy way, on social media.
If you watched our recaps of Married to Medicine, then we already told you that it seemed as if based off of Quad's Instagram that her relationship with King was over. And a lot of fans were concerned because her storyline this season is about their relationship and their IVF journey. And it looks like tonight's episode is when she reveals to her friends that her last try at doing IVF was not successful.
Child, anyway, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Quad and King broke up because of the whole IVF journey. And I'm not trying to make light of it because I know women struggle with fertility and that's a huge issue. And yeah, sometimes, relationships get in the mix of it and stuff happens. But that has to be hard for Quad to process, the fact that none of them eggs came back, y'all. So, I don't know. Maybe it was hard on King, but it's not about you, Kirk. Okay? Because clearly Quad was doing everything that she could to make sure that she had the ability to have those kids. Miss Quad. She got it. And she always will. So, I want to get into why people thought this was predictable. I didn't think it was predictable. I was actually Team Quad and King. Until I found out that he's messy. That he's a messy girl. Because he's in these comments based on what Heavenly and Carlos are talking about.
I know for a fact he was trying to get back with Quad just not too terribly long ago.
Quad and King have officially broken up. King alluded to this yesterday. He posted an image on him on Instagram. One of the images, he was shirtless. Somebody in the comments said, "Just too handsome. Quad is a lucky woman." King responded, "Luck ran out." Then another person stated, "I don't think they together anymore." King responded, "I can confirm that I left that situation." Dr. Heavenly, what are your thoughts on this? Because I remember weeks ago, the fans were attacking King online, and I asked you about it, and you talked about your growth when it comes to not speaking on people's relationships who are your real friends. And you said, "I'm Team Quad, she's my friend, and out of respect to Quad, I will not speak on it." Did you know then that's something that they were broken up?
Quad is my friend. I love my friend, but I will speak on it today because it's over with. We've been new. Like, they've been broken up for months, Carlos. They have been broken up for months. I just think that Quad is a classy lady, the way that she ended it, the way that she left that statement. I think that she's a stand-up girl, and I think that's how it should have happened. They're not married, and to me, for a man to come up under the comments, to me, you're attention-seeking. Meaning that that's not the way you do things. And I know for a fact he was trying to get back with Quad just not too terribly long ago.
Dr. Heavenly never miss a beat. I'm going to just say that. Dr. Heavenly never miss a beat. First of all, yes, he is attention seeking by climbing into the comments like a little gremlin after the breakup got announced. She's the star, not you, baby. Whatever you got to do with your money to make yourself feel all manly or whatever, go ahead and do it, girl. But right now, stay out of the business. Like, she broke up with you. She's done with you. Go ahead, Kirk. And why is it always people who got Kirk? Anyway, let me not don't do too much. But I will just want to just say this. The ladies are giving, the new girls are giving on Married to Medicine, and I hope all things work out with Quad. I think things will work out for Miss Quad because she got it. She got it. She's been on the show since the beginning. She's a real OG. These ladies have tried to play in her face, and she has been able to show them that she is independent with or without a man. And when she has a man, it's her man. So I can understand that. I can relate to what that's like. But most importantly, I can relate to having some self-discovery and deciding, okay, this kind of interaction or this community or this person or whatever is not for me anymore. Pack it up. Pack it. And you're done. Which is super funny considering what went down on Married to Medicine within the past week or so. So the ladies are on a trip, right? They're on this trip and they're trying to get along. Heavenly just cussed out Simone because Heavenly basically over exaggerated a situation with Simone's him, basically saying Simone was going to beat her ass. No, I'm not going to go by all semantics in the words. And Simone didn't like that because, like, if you're trying to insinuate that I'm trying to beat you up and I'm unhinged and I'm crazy, my career could be in jeopardy. But Heavenly is also going through something, so in hindsight, I think there was just a miss. Like, they weren't aligned. There was a miss there. And they just needed time to cool it down. But here go Toya, opening that mouth. And you know she doesn't like Heavenly because she's constantly interjecting. And one thing that I live for, that I turned to my husband and I was like, oh, girl, she's here to stay. Dr. Mimi, when she said to Toya, girl, I'm paraphrasing, but she said to Toya, right now is not the time to interject. I asked you not to do that. I asked you not to interject. Baby, psychiatrist is here. I love Dr. Mimi. She's de-escalating the girls down. That's a trained psychiatrist. And that's what we need to see on Married to Medicine. Now, I know that's going to bite her because Toya is kind of unhinged. Like, Toya's the one that's unhinged while she's talking about Heavenly's unhinged. A lot of the ladies are unhinged. But it is what it is. I think I need to not use that word to describe them. And they need to not use that word to describe each other. Let's just say you was having a moment. Let's just all support Heavenly for Congress, right? Because Andy Cohen just threw his hat in to endorse Heavenly for Congress. That's the right thing to do. She's doing the right thing for her district. But one thing that gets exposed is like Heavenly has one of those personalities where she doesn't really give a shit if you like her or not. And I think some of these other girls do care. And they're doing way too much by making it seem like Heavenly won't be a good congressperson. First of all, she's another black woman. You're in Atlanta. And here's the thing. Toya made it very clear that doesn't matter to her. But let's look at it from a different perspective. Look at the times we're in. Y'all know that Heavenly has a good heart. People say that Heavenly is a great dental... she has her own private dental business. Like, Heavenly does her thing. She's outspoken. And I think sometimes that can be intimidating to girls that don't have that in them. And I usually like try not to come for, the other ladies when it comes to Heavenly. Because, Heavenly steps into it herself. And she usually has to clean it up. But y'all know y'all friend. And you can decide if you want to be close with her or not. Simone, if you don't vibe with Heavenly, stop acting like you cool with her on her face. Stop. That's how that gets packed up. And support her for Congress. That's the right thing to do. In times like this, where we need more black women, especially black women to have a platform, this is the time to get behind them. And do the right thing, y'all. Come on. Alright, shifting gears to the traders. I hope y'all went to go refill y'all mugs, y'all champagne, whatever have you. I'm devastated. The traders is so good, but at the same time, I'm devastated, and here's why. Take a listen.
Lisa. Yes. Before you leave my castle forever, please reveal to us, are you a faithful or a traitor?
First of all, I have absolutely loved being here with all of you. I never thought I could do this. I never thought I could last this long. What I'm going to tell you tonight is I am the most iconic, legendary, oh my God,
and then she did a cute little walk-off. Y'all, reality TV icon, entertainer, knows the business. They took down one of the best because she played that traitor game well, but she was definitely thrown under the bus by Rob, right? And definitely was played by Colton because Colton figured out she was a traitor, but she just couldn't figure her way out. I think in hindsight, looking back at it, Lisa would have tried a different strategy, but that's how games work. You go through it and sometimes at the end when you lose, you're like, oh, I would have done this. This show was good. I will say this. Candy Girl. She is coming back with a vengeance, I believe, in this next episode because the way she wrote Rob's name down, and it kind of aghast me. I said, oh, okay, Candace, we're playing like that. We're playing like a housewife. And I agree with her husband who tweeted about like the whole emotional part, how Candace reacts off emotion, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit? So do I. I think sometimes people use that to try to make it seem like somebody's going to break. But I think Candace has a lot to show us. And I think Candace was made for TV. She's TV gold. I also believe that the traders have to get their game tight because right now it's giving traitor versus traitor. I don't know what that means for the rest of the girls in the castle because the faithfuls aren't really giving like... There's like a good camaraderie amongst the faithfuls. Like Yam Yam got snatched about his table. Now he's murdered. So, and he was a faithful. So nobody trusted Lisa because he dropped that bomb. And now we're still trying to figure out how the cards are going to fold in place in terms of who they're currently accusing. And right now, no one has accused Candace, so that works out in her favor. Rob has one accusation from Candace. We have, who else was getting accused? I believe it was Colton. I think Colton got some votes for him. But y'all, why was Mara and Dorinda going at it? What's going on? Dorinda was like, girl, first of all, what you're not about to do is sit up here and make it seem like that's Lisa's strategy. I know Lisa. Lisa don't do no kissy game strategies. Miss Mara. Dorinda is so funny for doing that. I can't wait to see what happens on the next episode. Traders is tea. I'm sad. We are so excited every single Thursday. We must watch it. But most importantly, I can't wait to see how the next few episodes come together in terms of who's going to be in the castle at the end. So stay tuned to Clock the Reality, because you know I'm going to bring it right to you. Speaking of bringing it to you, Andy Cohen does definitely owe us something, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. And remember when we talked about the Ultimate Girls Trip? Andy says we should be excited. Take a listen.
I am gagging right now. All of the icons are here filming Ultimate Girls Trip. By the way, everyone is so excited about Ultimate Girls Trip. Look what my barista wrote today. Welcome back, OGs. Unplanned.
Maybe the hype is real, y'all. Maybe Andy's onto something. Maybe we should be excited for Ultimate Girls Trip. The Ultimate, what was it used to be called? Ultimate Road Trip? I'm confused. Is it Ultimate Girls Trip or Ultimate Road Trip? Because I think he told us it was, maybe it's Ultimate Girls Trip, the Ultimate Road Trip, but, you know, semantics, whatever. Let's get into what the streets are saying. So the girlies have been traveling all over. We talked a little bit last week about how they're stopping in Atlanta and how Nene's holding it down, but also about how Vicky and Portia aren't getting along. But now there's more tea happening. Apparently other franchises are being shown. So we're going to see the 60 Housewives that we talked about last week. But they're also going to be showing more drama within other franchises. So we have, there's going to be a moment between Melissa Gorga and Jacqueline from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So maybe there'll be some passion up on that. Apparently there was an exchange between a few of the other girlies. For example, Nene Leakes and Lisa Wu. What? No. But apparently Lisa Wu was a hot mess at the showing or whatever it was, or the stop in Atlanta, and she called out Nene Leakes because Nene forgot to call her name. You know, sometimes the girls be hating, and because Nene is that girl, Lisa Wu tried to bring it to the runway, and she definitely brought it to the Instagram streets by posting a picture of a moose and calling it Nene. Girl, pack it up. The way the fans will come for you when it comes to Mother, don't do it. Bloop. But yeah, I think it's going to be great. I hear the Real Housewives of Rhode Island girls are on the way on our screens, but also they're going to be showing up on Ultimate Girls Trip. We have OGs coming from all over. Salt Lake City, I think they're stopping there, or they're going to be showing up in Beverly Hills. I don't know what's going on, but this is going to be something worth watching. I'm happy that the girls are excited about it, meaning the cast. But I'm also excited because, like, we finally get to see what it's like to have a crossover, the celebratory, with some drama and shade thrown in there. And you know they're going to give it to us. I don't know how I feel about Teresa. But I will save that for a future episode of Clock the Reality. Because I feel like I'm indifferent about Teresa being on our screens. Because I don't know what it really gives. I love her on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Because she is that girl. She's like the Nene Leakes of the Jersey, right? Like, she's Teresa. She flipped the table. But I don't know. I was a little underwhelmed when she was on her first Ultimate Girls Trip. And I know she's really close with Andy. And he likes her and Luann. Yeah. But anyway, we'll see what happens. In other news, so the E! Network has signed on to reboot the RHONY Ladies. That's right. The RHONY Ladies are back in full swing with the network move and everything. So we got the OGs currently, and the ones that they're saying is Jill Zarin, Kelly B. Benison, or whatever her name is, Sonia Morgan. We got, Ramona, who I cannot stand, and Luann. And they're bringing the ladies back, this time in Palm Springs, Florida. And I believe the ladies are currently residing there. And it's going to talk about their new stage of life, not being in New York City, but following these ladies that were so beloved from that franchise. And if you love RHONY, if you love the old RHONY girls, you're probably going to love this. I'm just happy I don't get to see Bethany. So I'll tune in. Like, because I guess I could stomach Ramona for one episode or two, but I would not be able to collect myself if Bethany, annoying ass, was on anything. I cannot stand Bethany. Everything that comes out of her mouth just sounds microaggressive. The way she talks about the girlies. She's so shocked Nene Leakes went back. Girl, be quiet. Nobody asked you. Anyway, sorry, just have to read Bethany. But yes, the concept is very cute. It gives, E describes it as the golden life. So it's a series that follows those ladies. And it's significant because the cast was let go in 2021. So Bravo's right now is deciding to not revamp it in the way where we're bringing back the OGs. They want to still play with new girls in New York. With that wild, weird last season they just had with Bryn or whatever her name is. But hopefully this will be good. I mean, if you got to go to another network, get your bag. Go to another network. I think that's very good. That's very good. But, we'll see what happens because I haven't heard any other Roni announcements. Maybe things are going to be put on hold till 2027. Let's get into it and spill some tea on Drag Race. That's right, Drag Race just happened. Y'all got lip sync to this song. Not only was it great, it was iconic. The Florida girls got down. And that was a really good episode because they brought back Raider Queen. It was one of those things where, did you really have to bring back Raider Queen? But I'm kind of happy they did because it's time to wake it up a little bit. In the words of Mistress, wake it the fuck up. And I think these queens are really deserving to be there. They're so talented. Miss Juicy Dion. Sickening. You could tell she's a professional dancer. And Miss Mia embodied that song. And it was definitely, in my opinion, a deserved win for both of them. I think they both deserve to win that lip sync. I think it was a cute weekend of competition where I feel like we're still getting to know all the girls. They brought back Raider Queen, which is weird in the way that they did it because most of the episode consisted of the girlies trying to form alliances. Pointless alliances because we're only going to be doing this for 2 weeks. But I think what happens is, because this is so mainstream now, people are watching All Stars, you got to switch it up and add more things in there because the girlies have no problem getting anybody together. And being very forward about, I'm not going to go with track record. I'm going to go with me being here. As Kenya Pleaser definitely insinuated, because she had to. Kenya, you didn't have a choice, sister. This is a great season. And I'm excited for the next episode because what's going to happen is the next girls are also going to do a talent show. And the girls are deciding who goes home with Raider Queen. Kind of like before in the past where they all ranked each other. And based on who ranked higher was the winner. And who lip sync for the win. And then who's at the top will remain in the bottom. And we'll have to lip sync in the bottom for who will be going home. So with that in mind, we'll see what happens next week, child. We still got Nene Coco. No, Nene Coco already went. We still got quite a few girls that still have to show their talent. I think Kenya Pleaser is next on the list to show her talent, along with a few of the other dolls. Who else we got need to show talent? I believe Athena has to go, Mikey Meeks, a few other girls. But anyway, they're bringing back Raider Queen, and we're going to see who makes it to the top. Because, some of the girls were a little bit iffy about going this week. Some of the girls were a little bit iffy and being strategic, but it's going down. Jane Don't is funny in her confessionals, by the way. I do like her. Sometimes I think never mind. Sometimes I think Miss Jane Don't be saying a lot. I think she's one of those girls that will talk their stuff on the camera, but in that workroom won't be voicing. I mean, save some shade. I mean, this ain't RuPaul's Best Friends race. Or is it? I think compared to the last 3 seasons, it is. I'll be bringing it to y'all. Y'all know I stay at it when it comes to the Drag Race. And I want to get into the looks. Mikey Meeks looked amazing. From that, I don't even know how it's constructed, how she was able to get that ribbon to go up and over like that. Very beautifully constructed. Jane Doe looks, there's a lot going on in her look, but you can tell she made it and it looks like, that she can sew. Mia looks great, I believe, that with that big old red bow on. Who else do we have? Come on that runway. I don't know how I feel about Miss... Well, it's not bad. Athena's look isn't that bad. Compared to last week with that white wig that I said she was throwing together, this week is much better. I love that little train thing that she had on. The pink fuchsia color is very cute. She's kind of like an auntie in drag. That's kind of how I see, like, TT drag, No shade. And I'm not trying to be like, that's just what it is. That's what it is. Darlene looked great. It's like, Darlene looked a mess. on the runway, per usual. But the girlies didn't really disappoint too much. I would say there's a lot going on Discourse look. I'm not really too much of a fan of that. But yeah, if you haven't seen the show, go ahead and get into the looks. Let me know. You can always comment and let me know what you think about the looks. Alright, let's end this reality with some pop culture tea and let's get into these Grammys. The Grammys were amazing. Lady Gaga snatched my damn scalp in half. The way that she went on there, and she's just so talented, and she can just take like the energy out of the room and make it so uplifting. If it's energy where everybody's all mopey and stuff, Lady Gaga is that girl to make you feel great. And I think she did a wonderful job at the performance. I think if you want to hear more about, some of the political takeaways from this, get into my other podcast called Clock the Tea with Dr. Long, where I bring it to you fresh every time, but instead of bringing it to you fresh every time in the entertainment realm, I'm giving it to you when it comes to news updates, politics, and what we should be paying attention to in the news. But that's a different story. If you need some politics in your life, get into my other girl. But let's stick to this, because I still want to talk about the winners of the evening. So FKA Twigs won Best Dance and Electronic Album. My bad. I stumbled a little bit. Gloria Estefan won Best Tropical Latin Album. Y'all, it gets even better. Like, the fact that people were just slaying these awards like this. Golden, the K-pop Demon Hunters, won Best Song for Visual Media. And some of these people, I don't know who they are, if I'm being very clear. Youngblood I've heard of, and he won from Changes. It was for Best Rock Performance, Changes from Life from Villa Park. So, if some of the girlies like him. So, I guess he's worth mentioning if that's the kind of girl you get into. We also had Leon Thomas won Best R&B Album, Mutt, entitled Mutt. Y'all remember that album. We had some more wins. We had Samara Joy for Portrait for Best Jazz Vocal Album. We had Kendrick Lamar come in here, y'all, and win Best Rap Album. And last but not least, Bad Bunny snatched Best Musica Urbana Album. Wow. And he said Ice Out. And if you don't want to get into that, then that's on you, but I agree. Now, T-Sippers, how can I forget about the Born This Way Queen? Lady Gaga also won Best Pop Vocal Album. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that Mayhem won. And it did, and y'all mad about it. Ha, y'all mad. But Lady Gaga is that girl. And I will always echo my girl. Always. It seems that, the Grammys did their thing this year. But this show, y'all might get a little bit of kick out of. Take a listen.
Why does it feel like it's ruining the chicken? Hi, my name is Lisa Barlow. I am wife to John Barlow, mother to baby Gorgeous and his older brother Jack, and I am on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. What is this stuff? Okay, basil, that sounds good, right? I love fine dining. Like, I love to eat out, but I don't cook. I've made grilled cheese one time. I've made hot dogs in the microwave one time, which I did not know how to turn on.
Girl. Lisa. This is why she eating at Wendy's, at McDonald's. This is why the girl just eats fast food all the time. Her kids is... we're not doing... Be staying off the kitty thing, and where's the Nene? Staying off the kitty thing. This show, it has me aghast. When this cast first got together, it is called... First of all, it's called Worst Cooks in America, and it premieres on the Food Network. And when this cast first got together, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this. But... I figured out, why don't I just dig into it and watch when y'all hear about who's on the show. Voucher Smirkovsky from Dance with the Stars. Excuse me. We also have Lisa Barlow, obviously. I didn't know she was on this show. I have to watch. Reza from Shaw's. We got Amarla Negra from Love and Hip Hop Miami. Romeo. Not Romeo, child. CT and Manila Luzon from Drag Race. So, I think I might check it out. I'll check it out. And I'll give y'all a little bit of a tea next time to let y'all know what I think about it, because I haven't gotten to it yet. But it will definitely fascinate me for these high-profile people that don't know how to cook. Because, look, it took me a while to learn how to cook. But if I'm spilling the reality, sometimes it just takes a little bit of practice. And I don't trust everybody's cooking, because sometimes, y'all know what people like to do. Not season, or if you disrespect them, they will spit in your stuff. So... I like to cook my own meals, but And I also like to serve my own tea, my own Reali-Tea. And I want to thank y'all for joining me for this second wonderful episode of Clock the Reality with, that's right, Mark Midwestern, honey. And I bring it to you fresh every single time, bitch. Thank you for listening. See you next time.